trim work. It says, welcome to the James Paul Lucas Mansion. Experience the life and times of this eccentric collector, diamond importer, and world traveler who made his home here from 1914 to 1952. There he is. He does look a bit eccentric there with that plume hat and sword. Just explain, but he added the center part. He raised the top. It was a two-story building, so he added this middle.
Yes.
That's very unusual. Mr. Lucas.
He did it with
And how did you say you started out in South Carolina? What was he?
He was a news butch on a train.
News what?
A news butch.
Which?
Butch.
Butch.
Mm-hmm.
News butch. I never heard of a news butch. What?
A kid that sold newspapers on the train.
Oh, it was a little kid.
Selling newspapers and magazines. Yeah.
Hidden Night. Yeah, this cross seems to have some kind of magical powers. The way it's
wood.
Here in the kitchen is a gas vapor stove that was very favorable because it could easily be converted to electricity.
It was gas, did you say?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But it was converted to electricity.
And I assumed that he had a housekeeper and
Yes.
cook and all that stuff.
Actually, I'm told he didn't have a maid.
He didn't have a maid? Really?
He would just hire local men and women
Uh-huh.
to come in and do. He was known for lavish entertaining.
Now this is a Kelvinator? What are they called?
It's a General Electric refrigerator. It's a monitor top, a 1915.
And the monitor top was
The motor on top.
that's the motor, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 19 what year?
1915.
15?
1915 General Electric monitor top
I
refrigerator.
didn't know they made refrigerators that early. Wow.
When Mr. Lucas passed away and his belongings were sold by the bank in Hickory, Miss Sharp, after they purchased it,
Table here.
he had a taste of heavy carved ornate furniture. Miss Sharp tried to get that theme
And
throughout
look
the
at
rest of the house.
the fruit bowl there. Wow.
Our Jacobean table is set with our, our crystal thumbprint crystal. Our French Limoges china has the trailing arbutus pattern. Our silverware is George and Martha Washington pattern, and those were created in honor of President and Mrs. Washington. Our place card holders and our napkin rings are German bisque. This was an individual salt dish, and they had a small spoon in them. But during the Civil War, those spoons were donated to be melted down for ammunition for our soldiers.
What was this used for?
The individual salt dish. Salt dish.
Salt.
So the term pinch of salt,
Mm-hmm.
it became proper.
Because they didn't have the spoons. Which probably were melted down for cannons or such. Wow.
The silver serving pieces in this room are a method used in the late 1880s called silver overlay. They were less expensive to produce and they were more durable. And the clock on the wall, one of his eccentricities was clocks. He had a collection of 150 chiming clocks.
Wow.
That were not synchronized, that rang throughout the house, to the complaints of neighbors and guests.
And who had to wind these clocks? Did he do that himself?
I have no idea.
That sounds like quite a job, doesn't it? 150
They
clocks.
had one that was made out of burl poplar in the back of a bar that he had here. And he had one that would, let's see, it would last 400 days on one winding, which I can't
That's over a
imagine
year,
that.
isn't it?
That is James Paul Lucas, or Diamond Jim, in his Masonic regalia.
Masonic, okay. He was a Mason then.
He was a 32nd degree Mason, and he was active in both the local and the national chapters.
Yeah, 32nd degree would be upper echelons?
I have been told that a 33rd degree Mason is high as you can go.
Oh, really?
And
wow.
then you go into, what is it?
I'm not familiar with the hierarchy of Masons.
I had a guest tell me, because her dad was a 33rd degree Mason. He's not
Wow,
a
look at all
Shriner.
these canes he has here.
He had a collection of over 400 walking canes.
400?
He was said to have carried his diamonds and gems and his favorite drink in a walking cane handle. He had a collection of umbrellas too.
And is this an umbrella?
This is a sterling silver umbrella handle, and this is a gold-tipped umbrella handle.
Okay, umbrella handle. All right.
Our hat and coat tree and walking cane and umbrella stand was a common furnishing, and a common furnishing in a Victorian home back then.
This looks like something from Europe here.
Hand-carved cherubs with the gold finish. And the
17th century cherubs?
cherubs.
Cherubs. Wow.
The calling card tray between them. On visiting a home back then, you left your calling card.
Oh, so you would put your calling card here on this little...
And the more cards you had in your tray, the more popular you were.
Wow.
We have another clock,
Uh-huh.
traditional Turkish pattern, and the overstuffed camel hair bench with a traditional Victorian covering. And up on the hall, on the stairway,
Yes.
our tapestry depicts Lawrence of Arabia. And those tapestries were made of wool and silk, and they were either used as wall hangings, bed covers, or floor coverings.
Wow, and this is an example of luggage. Is this what this is? Luggage?
That reminds us of his world travels, the well-worn luggage.
Leather. It's got a leather luggage there. Wow.
He
and
could
I like
well afford it.
Yeah. And then here's the old-fashioned telephone.
That's a circa 1923 telephone. You listen here, you talk here, and you crank to get the operator.
And you had a
You were on
certain
the phone.
ring signal, right? To identify yourself.
You had
400 walking canes, 100 umbrellas,
100 umbrellas,
and
150 chiming clocks. But he had trunks of collectibles on the two upper floors, all over the two upper floors.
what did he
They
have?
were gifts from famous people he had met worldwide. And he would bring them.
Did
back
he
here.
keep everything here, or did he have to have to store them somewhere?
He kept it here.
Wow, now I have a squeeze box like this
Okay.
that belonged to my aunt, a great aunt.
There was a musical side to his family. His mother was Sally Lucas. She was an accomplished pianist and violinist. His sister Mamie was an accomplished pianist and voice instructor. His father was a bugler in the 6th Regimental Band in Blacksburg, South Carolina.
Wow.
During the Civil War. This is a picture of his father, James Stevenson Lucas. And after moving here, he helped to organize the Hidnight Community Band that you'll see here in this picture.
Wow, look at that. That's a pretty big sized band, isn't it?
And the music on the music stand is Parsifal by Richard Wagner, and it's dated 1880.
And
And that
look
is,
at that jacket he's got on.
that's Mr. James Paul Lucas, or Diamond Jim, in his leopard skin coat and hat.
Wow.
Styling and profiling.
Styling and profiling. I like that phrase.
Mr. Lucas had a taste of wild game for food. He had a love of the outdoors and a love for hunting. Our wolves, our antlers, our grouse, the owl, and the hawk over here. He had stuffed animals on the upper floor, especially the 3rd floor of the house, hanging on the walls.
Wow.
And this is a picture of him and some of his prize hunting dogs and his grouse hunt, carrying across his shoulders around his neck.
Wow, and look at this right here. This is a elephant being attacked by tigers. They must have come from India
I
or
think.
somewhere in Asia, maybe.
And I've had visitors tell me about that, but I don't.
Wow, that is really
I don't
nice.
remember. You remember I mentioned his favorite drink and a walking cane handle?
Yes. What
Our
was his
whiskey
favorite
flask
drink?
and our whiskey barrel reminds us that he loved serving his guests 100-year-old peach brandy. that he
100-year-old peach brandy?
100-year-old peach brandy that
Wow.
he had shipped in here from California. And this was in
Wow.
days when booze was illegal. And he was known to keep quite a stock of it under the house.
He's got a flask, and look at this gem right here.